Hello, I'm Jennifer, and welcome to the Crew of Japan podcast, a weekly podcast where we take you on audio journeys through Japanese culture.
This time on Crew of Japan podcast.
At long last, the wait is over. Season 6 is finally here after months of interviews, editing, and maybe a little bit of procrastination, on top of just life in general. And it's my turn to make the announcement. So on behalf of the rest of the crew, I'm here to announce that the Crew of Japan podcast will make its Season 6 premiere on Friday, May 16th. Is this entire season fully edited and recorded? Nope. But we know just how to keep our editor motivated, right, Doug? So, how about a little preview of what's to come? We've set a precedent over the last couple of seasons of giving a glimpse into the future, so let's keep that fun tradition rolling. This should at least hold you off until the premiere on May 16th. Doug, Nigel, and I have been hard at work over the course of the last 5 months, reaching out to some pretty incredible guests, scheduling interviews, and having some great conversations about a whole bunch of topics, where we laugh and learn about the world of Rakugo with master storyteller Katsura Sunshine.
Ma is basically timing, pauses and comic timing. And that's kind of everything to comedy. But people say, oh, so when you were with your master for 3 years, he taught you about the timing, right? They can't teach that. First you imitate. Like I imitate my master, who's a genius and very famous comedian. You're going to imitate everything he does. And you're supposed to imitate. What you do is when you memorize a story, you do it in front of the master and then they give you pointers. And then you come back and then they teach you more. And then once the master thinks you're ready to do that story, he says, okay, you can do it. And then that's your story for life. You have kind of permission to do that story. That's your life. But then you can imitate every single nuance of your master's delivery and get not one laugh, not one reaction out of the audience. It has to be your own. So that's what you were just saying. Like, how do you make it your own? That is like go up in front of the audience and fail miserably. Bomb! And slowly fight through the pain and then find how your version of that story works for you. So that's the process.
Prepare for Expo 2025 Osaka with Sachiko Yoshimura, the Director General of Public Relations and Promotion for the World Expo 2025.
Of course, Japan has a pop culture, a left-up culture of like manga and everything. And so there are events. Of course, the pavilion, we have Gundam, but also there'll be events every day. If you check the event calendars, there are some events concerning like manga or cartoons and everything as well. But also for cultural side, we are showcasing a kind of future society. So that's something on the more technology side, but also the traditional Japanese culture as well. There'll be Matsuri, a Japanese festival for not only Kansai area, but all areas from Japan. So it's like kind of a dancing experience. There's a sumo event as well, so you can see the sumo wrestlers doing there. So it's a kind of mixture of future and ancient Japan.
Discover language learning opportunities through Japan-based language schools with Japanese language enthusiast Langston Hill.
And with a Japanese language school, it's not really so much about the culture, but much more focused intensely on the language itself. And so you're actually only allowed to attend a Japanese language school for 2 years. That's like set by the government. Anything above 2 years, actually you literally cannot do above 2 years. Visa requirements, and it's just like a general rule that they have. And because of that 2-year time limit, they're really focused on intense studies with the Japanese language. You're very close with the language. You're interacting with it every single day. It's all taught in Japanese. And so I think that's a pro of Japanese language schools is time. You have a short amount of time, but since they're very focused on the language, you get to see yourself improve really fast at a Japanese language school.
Bridging New Orleans and Japan through music with trombonist Haruka Kikuchi.
I was a lucky one. So my first gig as a local in New Orleans with a shotgun jazz band. The shotgun jazz band led by great Mara Dixon. She plays a trumpet and she is a great vocalist. But I met her for our first time on the street. So my husband, he is a piano player and he is also from Japan. And I and my husband did a basking together on the street. But my husband, his style is like more straight head jazz or bebop style. So then My style is like a more old jazz. I really like a traditional New Orleans jazz. We played together one traditional jazz song by my request on the street. Then Mara was listening what we playing, and she gave me a business card. So you should call me. So then she found me, and yeah, I just jumped. I was really lucky. So then I started my career from Frenchman Street. So then hang out with different traditional jazz groups.
Kick off a two-part conversation about Japan's soccer footprint domestically and around the world with Dan Orlowitz.
One of the benefits of the J-League's growth is that the J3, back when it started, was a bunch of sort of aspiring J-League clubs and some under-23 teams that J1 clubs were running as sort of an Olympic-related thing, just to give younger players more playing time. And now, J3 is stacked. Like, insane, because you have, yes, a lot of, like, J2 level scrubs, but you have Matsumoto Yamaga, who used to play in the J1. You have Advanced Kitakyushu and Kagoshima United, who used to play in the J2. You know, you have SC Gifu, who used to play in the J2. Zueigen Kanazawa used to play in the J2. And so now, like, it's a super competitive third division, which nobody who helped found the J-League in 92, 93 could imagine that we'd get to this point where we don't just have a strong top flight, but a really strong second flight that's stacked with J1 level teams, and then a really competitive third flight. So it's a testament to how far the league has come and how far soccer has spread across Japan that you're covering 43 of the 47 prefectures. They're filling in that bingo card. They've almost got the whole map.
Explore vegan cuisine in Japan with Leonore Stefan of Itadaki Healthy.
In general, I would advise not to go to a non-vegan restaurant as a vegan and expect them to accommodate, right? In the Japanese culture, of course, they're also very proud of their cuisine. It's a great cuisine. So it is very difficult for them to imagine to alter the food. And of course, taking out certain ingredients will be difficult, such as the fish extract, dashi. So it will be very hard to do so. And that's why I recommend to do some research beforehand. Look up vegan restaurants or maybe places which are maybe like organic, because those places might be able to accommodate just a little more. But in general, I do not recommend asking for changing the meal.
Dive into social media's role into the perceptions of Japan.
I think just the evolution from J-vlogging or vlogging in general to shifting to shorter reels, just attention spans can't handle long-form video anymore, apparently. And, you know, I think a lot of people had to adapt.
Or just don't even care about the details, because like with J-vlogging or just regular vlogging, you know, whatever you want to call it, I mean, the people that made those videos and still do today, they're very informative, very informational.
Yeah.
And I guess people don't want that anymore. They just want get straight to the point. Let me know where it is, what to do. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of sad.
That makes sense. And I think too, like, I mean, TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Shorts, they're trying to hit for a reason. They're just trying to hit what's hot and what's topical, or maybe something that's going to stand out. And they want to be quick hitters. They don't want to long form tell you a story. They just want to say, hey, look at this crazy thing I got out of a vending machine.
Revisit the Matsue New Orleans Sister City Exchange with Japan Society 2024 participants Catherine Heller and Wade Trosclair.
That night, he brings me to their house, and his wife is a Japanese teacher. He's an English teacher. Her English is not as good, but she was very interested in trying to speak some. And they have a 3-year-old boy, a 6-year-old boy, and she was pregnant at the time with a third son who was due in a month. And so they provide dinner that night. They have a good time. And that night, I finally get to sleep. And about an hour later, I wake up and hear this commotion out in the hallway. I hear the doorbell ring, and I'm just like, just go back to sleep. You're in a strange person's house. Don't think about it. And the next morning I wake up and the host dad's like, yeah, so Eriko's water broke last night. And I was like, wait, what? So I was like, do you need me to get a hotel? He's like, no, it's okay. Because I was worried he didn't have like single parent with these 2 kids. But yeah, she went to the hospital. I didn't see her the rest of the trip. We just communicated via text message. But she ended up giving birth that Friday via C-section. And the host dad had told me he wanted to bring me to Izumo on Saturday. And I was like, do you not want to like be with your wife in the hospital? Like, are they after? He's like, no, it's okay. It's a lot of regulations. So they were just so accommodating. And, being a teacher, I know that there's, this thing called teacher tired. Plus he has the 2 kids. And so I was very grateful.
brewing up a craft beer or two with Chris Madare of Bayard Brewing and Chris Poole of Shiokaze Brew Lab.
Right now, we have to say, since 2010, I actually joined Bayard at the same time as he did. I kind of had a discussion with Brian one day, and he's over a few beers. And he's like, well, I could use you. I said, well, let's talk about this when we're sober, okay? Let's do this. Yeah. And sure enough, I joined in later in 2009 is probably when I came in. And I'm still with Bayard right now. So I basically run the pubs and one of the senior directors and draft beer operations. But during that time, since 2010, the amount of breweries really has increased and the quality of beer has really increased, which is a good thing.
Overall quality has increased. Yeah, there's still a lot of suspect breweries out there.
But we've all noticed that, yes, just the quality of beer that's being produced in Japan now is really craft beer. There's really a lot of good breweries.
Restore some abandoned homes with Akiya enthusiast and YouTuber Anton Warman of Anton in Japan.
When people think of Akiyas, people think of it as Akiyas in the countryside, but there is an Akiya about 100 meters away from Roppongi Crossing. There is 52,000 Akiyas in my area in Setagaya. So they're basically all over the place. They're everywhere. And this is something that no one has really been talking about in the kind of extent that it should have been talked about, because there's been a lot of problems when it comes to the declining population. Not only Akiyas, there are businesses going under. There is they need to give incentives for getting the birth rate up again. There are many pieces to the puzzle, and Akiyas is a direct consequence of the declining birth rate.
Phew! That preview covers the first half of this season, but there are many other episodes still in the works with new and returning guests. But we are keeping those top secret for now. You'll just have to stick around until the end of the season. Not that you need any persuading, right? But there you go, a little taste of what's to come for season 6, which is premiering on, say it with me, May 16th. Make sure to tap that like, subscribe, or follow button in Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen. That'll ensure that you get a ding or a push notification right to your favorite device when all those fresh episodes drop. You still have a chance to tell us what you want to hear about. Maybe we can squeeze it into the back end of season 6. Let us know all your suggestions for topics and guests. You can share those with us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Twitter, X, whichever one you want to call it still, YouTube at Krewe Japan Podcast. That's KREWEOFJAPAN Podcast. While you're there, give us a comment, a follow, like, retweet, share. Let us know how you're enjoying the podcast. Or perhaps you'd like to provide your feedback in a more private setting. Send us an email at krewofjapanpodcasts@gmail.com. Speaking of feedback, if you're enjoying what you're listening to or enjoyed previous seasons, please take just a second of your time to leave a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast streaming app. Every single one of those 5-star ratings and reviews helps others interested in Japan and this kind of content find the podcast. Or hey, maybe just let a friend know about us. Seriously, any and all support is incredibly appreciated. That's it for today. Until next time, which is May 16th. See you then.
Looking to start your own podcast and don't know what platform to use? Tell me about it. When we started the CHOU CHOU Japan podcast, we tried a bunch of the big name recording platforms, but always came back to the one we're still currently using to this day, Zencastr. Zencastr is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. In addition to its high audio and video quality for podcast production, Zencastr provides a full suite of production tools to record, produce, and publish studio quality content from the comfort of your home. Just log in through your browser and start recording. It's that simple. For us, we simply send out links to our guests and they join the lobby. But before you know it, it's all done and you have your studio quality audio and up to 4K video right there ready for you, right when you finish. The best part is having their multi-layered backups to ensure that your recordings are in the highest quality, regardless of anyone's internet connection stability. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcasts in one place and distribute to all the major destinations. It's really that easy. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code CREWOFJAPAN, KREWEOFJAPAN, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experiences we do for all of our podcasting and content needs. It's your time to share your story.